The brain is not a passive organ during sleep, it is a dynamic, highly active system engaged in a process of maintenance that is as vital as any waking activity. One of the most remarkable mechanisms involved in this nightly restoration is the glymphatic system, a network of channels that clears metabolic waste from the brain. Unlike other organs, the brain lacks conventional lymphatic vessels, so it relies on this unique system to remove proteins, toxins, and other byproducts that accumulate during waking hours. These waste products include beta-amyloid and tau proteins, which, if not efficiently cleared, are strongly associated with cognitive decline and neurodegenerative conditions such as Alzheimer's disease. Sleep is the time when the glymphatic system is most active, expanding the spaces between brain cells and facilitating the flow of cerebrospinal fluid, which washes away accumulated debris. The efficiency of this process is not uniform across all conditions. It is influenced by multiple factors, including the position in which the body rests during sleep. Research into the glymphatic system has revealed that the lateral, or side sleeping, position can enhance the flow of cerebrospinal fluid through the brain more effectively than supine or prone positions. When the head and torso are aligned in a way that maintains a neutral curvature of the spine and avoids compression of vascular structures, fluid movement is facilitated, and toxins can be cleared more efficiently. This is particularly significant for individuals over the age of 60, when the glymphatic system naturally begins to decline in efficiency. Even small improvements in fluid clearance achieved by optimal sleep posture may have a meaningful impact on long-term cognitive health, slowing the accumulation of harmful proteins that can compromise neural function. The brain, during these hours, is engaged in a highly choreographed exchange. Fluid washes in and out of interstitial spaces, clearing away what has accumulated, while neurons consolidate memories and synaptic connections strengthen. The lateral sleeping posture appears to align the channels in a way that reduces resistance to flow, creating a smoother, more continuous cleansing process. Beyond the structural aspects, the mechanics of side sleeping may interact with gravity to optimize the movement of fluid along the perivascular pathways. This subtle gravitational assistance can enhance the directional movement of cerebrospinal fluid, ensuring that regions of the brain most susceptible to protein aggregation receive adequate clearance. Over decades, the consistency of these nightly cycles can shape the trajectory of brain health, influencing cognitive resilience, memory retention, and the risk of neurodegeneration. While posture alone cannot prevent age-related cognitive decline, it represents a tangible, actionable factor that interacts with the brain's natural restorative processes. The influence of sleep posture on the glymphatic system also highlights the interdependence between the structural and functional aspects of the body. Proper alignment of the head, neck, and torso allows cerebrospinal fluid to circulate unimpeded, while misalignment or unnatural curvature can create resistance points, slowing the clearance process. Chronic suboptimal positioning may not result in immediate symptoms, but over the long term, it can subtly compromise the efficiency of metabolic waste removal. For older adults, whose glymphatic function may already be diminished, these small, cumulative effects become increasingly significant. Optimal sleep posture is therefore not merely a matter of comfort, it is an intervention that directly interacts with the brain's intrinsic housekeeping system, facilitating a physiological process that supports mental clarity and cognitive longevity. Moreover, the benefits of lateral sleeping extend beyond fluid dynamics. By promoting uninterrupted deep sleep, this posture allows the brain to progress through the full spectrum of sleep cycles, each stage contributing to the efficiency of waste clearance. Slow-wave sleep, in particular, is closely associated with glymphatic activity, and maintaining alignment that minimizes discomfort or awakening supports the duration and quality of this restorative phase. In this way, sleep posture indirectly shapes the rhythm and depth of sleep, which in turn determines how effectively the brain can execute its nightly cleansing functions. Over a lifetime, these interactions accumulate, illustrating that seemingly minor decisions, how we position ourselves each night, can exert profound effects on the long-term health and vitality of the mind, underscoring the intimate connection between physical posture and cognitive preservation. The alignment of the spine during sleep is far more than a matter of comfort. It plays a crucial role in maintaining the flow of cerebrospinal fluid, the circulation of nutrients, and the overall integrity of the nervous system. The spine is not only a structural support for the body but also a conduit for essential physiological processes that influence the brain and other organs. When the head, neck, and torso are aligned in a neutral, relaxed position, cerebrospinal fluid can move freely through the central nervous system, delivering nutrients, removing metabolic waste, and providing a cushioning effect for the brain. Conversely, misalignment, twisting, or unnatural curvature during sleep can create subtle resistance within this system, impeding fluid flow and placing unnecessary strain on both the spinal cord and the surrounding tissues. Over years and decades, these small disruptions accumulate, potentially influencing the efficiency of neural repair and the maintenance of cognitive function. Neutral spinal alignment allows for the unobstructed movement of cerebrospinal fluid along the ventricles and subarachnoid spaces, where the fluid circulates to provide metabolic support for neurons and glial cells. During deep sleep, the brain depends on this circulation to remove toxins such as beta amyloid and tau proteins, whose accumulation has been linked to cognitive decline and neurodegenerative disease. When posture distorts the natural curvature of the spine, it can introduce points of compression that hinder this delicate flow, reducing the effectiveness of the brain's restorative processes. Even slight deviations from optimal positioning, such as tilting the head excessively or allowing the neck to twist unnaturally, can produce cumulative effects over years, subtly diminishing the capacity for waste removal and nutrient delivery. The body's restorative systems rely on repeated, uninterrupted cycles of optimal fluid flow, and maintaining alignment provides the structural foundation for these cycles to operate efficiently. In addition to its role in cerebrospinal fluid circulation, spinal alignment also supports the vascular system. Proper positioning ensures that blood vessels traveling through the neck and upper spine are neither compressed nor twisted, facilitating smooth venous return from the brain. Adequate circulation is critical for delivering oxygen and energy substrates to neurons, supporting synaptic function, and promoting neural plasticity. When sleep posture compromises vascular integrity, even mildly, it can reduce the efficiency of these essential processes. Over decades, repeated disruption of circulation may contribute to subtle cognitive decline, fragmented sleep architecture, or a diminished capacity for memory. Consolidation and learning. By contrast, alignment that preserves unobstructed blood flow and cerebrospinal fluid movement reinforces the physiological environment in which the brain can repair, reorganize, and strengthen neural networks effectively. The importance of spinal alignment extends to musculoskeletal health as well. Sleeping in a position that maintains the natural curves of the spine reduces strain on muscles, ligaments, and joints, preventing chronic discomfort and ensuring that sleep is restorative rather than fragmented by pain or tension. Discomfort during sleep can activate stress responses in the body, elevating cortisol and other stress hormones that interfere with neural repair and cellular maintenance. A posture that supports both musculoskeletal and neurological systems minimizes these internal stressors, allowing deep sleep phases to occur uninterrupted and giving the brain the optimal environment for waste clearance and synaptic reorganization. Spinal alignment also influences the autonomic nervous system, which governs heart rate, breathing, and digestion. When the body rests in a position that promotes symmetry and balance, parasympathetic activity, the rest and repair branch of the nervous system, can dominate, facilitating physiological restoration. Misalignment, tension, or awkward positioning can subtly shift the nervous system toward a sympathetic state, reducing the efficiency of restorative processes and affecting brain health indirectly. Over time, the cumulative impact of misalignment, disrupted flow, and impaired neural signaling can manifest as reduced cognitive clarity, slower processing, and increased vulnerability to age-related neurological decline. In essence, spinal alignment during sleep serves as the structural and functional foundation for optimal cerebrospinal fluid circulation, vascular efficiency, and nervous system balance. It is an often overlooked factor that interacts directly with the brain's intrinsic maintenance systems, shaping the effectiveness of detoxification, nutrient delivery, and neural repair. For individuals over 60, preserving neutral posture throughout the night may enhance the brain's ability to maintain its internal environment, supporting cognitive resilience, long-term memory function, and overall neurological health. By recognizing the spine as a critical conduit rather than a passive support, one can appreciate how subtle adjustments in sleep position can influence the trajectory of brain health and longevity over decades. The circulation of blood to and from the brain is an essential component of cognitive health, and it is profoundly influenced by the way we position ourselves during sleep. Blood carries oxygen, glucose, and other nutrients that neurons require to maintain optimal function, while simultaneously removing metabolic byproducts that, if accumulated, can impair signaling and contribute to neurodegeneration. Sleep posture affects both arterial inflow and venous return, and even subtle shifts in head and neck alignment can create compression or restriction that alters the efficiency of these critical processes. Over time, these small impediments can accumulate, influencing the long-term resilience of neural tissue and the efficiency of cognitive processes. The interconnectedness of posture, circulation, and brain function is a compelling example of how seemingly minor daily habits can exert profound effects over decades. When the head is positioned in alignment with the spine, venous blood can flow freely from the brain back toward the heart, preventing congestion in the cerebral veins and minimizing intracranial pressure. Excessive flexion, extension, or lateral twisting of the neck can partially compress these vessels, causing subtle pooling of blood in the upper cranial structures. While the effects may not be immediately noticeable, chronic disruption of venous return can influence oxygenation levels, nutrient exchange, and the removal of waste products, subtly altering the chemical environment in which neurons operate. Over years, these incremental inefficiencies may contribute to slower cognitive processing, memory difficulties, or increased vulnerability to neurodegenerative changes. Conversely, positions that maintain neutral alignment and allow unrestricted blood flow support a continuous supply of oxygen and energy while enhancing the clearance of metabolic byproducts, creating conditions that favor long-term brain health. The arterial system is similarly influenced by sleep posture. Arteries supplying the brain must traverse the neck and upper spine, and unnatural positioning can create mild tension or curvature along these pathways. Even slight resistance to arterial flow can reduce the delivery of essential nutrients, particularly during the deep restorative stages of sleep when metabolic demand remains significant for processes such as synaptic remodeling, protein synthesis, and cellular repair. Over decades, consistent optimization of arterial and venous flow through proper alignment can support the maintenance of neuronal structure, myelination, and connectivity, all of which are critical for cognitive resilience in later life. Beyond the direct effects on circulation, sleep posture also influences the dynamics of cerebrospinal fluid, which works in tandem with blood to maintain brain homeostasis. Proper positioning ensures that the fluid can move efficiently through the ventricles and along perivascular pathways, interacting with the vascular system to enhance nutrient delivery and waste removal. Misalignment or constriction in the cervical region can create subtle resistance, slowing the movement of both blood and cerebrospinal fluid and reducing the synergistic efficiency of these restorative systems. Over the long term, these minor reductions in circulation and clearance can influence the accumulation of neurotoxic proteins, impair synaptic plasticity, and affect memory consolidation. Posture-related circulatory effects extend beyond the brain to influence systemic physiology. Optimal alignment during sleep supports parasympathetic activity, promoting lower heart rate, stable blood pressure, and reduced stress hormone release. These systemic factors interact with cerebral blood flow, as elevated sympathetic activity or hypertension can further restrict microvascular perfusion in neural tissue. By promoting neutral, well-supported positioning, the body maintains an environment in which cerebral circulation is optimized and the nervous system can operate efficiently. In practical terms, maintaining vascular integrity through sleep posture involves careful attention to head and neck support, spinal alignment, and minimizing twisting or compression. Proper pillow height, mattress support, and body positioning can all contribute to unobstructed blood flow, reinforcing the brain's ability to receive nutrients and eliminate waste effectively. Over decades, these small adjustments accumulate, creating a more favorable environment for cognitive function, reducing age-related declines in processing speed, memory, and overall mental clarity. By considering the subtle yet profound influence of posture on circulation, we begin to see that the choices made during the hours of sleep are not passive but actively shape the health, resilience, and longevity of the brain. The process of memory consolidation and neural plasticity is deeply intertwined with the quality of sleep, and sleep posture plays a subtle yet meaningful role in supporting these critical cognitive processes. During deep sleep, the brain undergoes waves of electrical activity that facilitate the reorganization and strengthening of synaptic connections formed during waking hours. These patterns are essential for long-term memory formation, learning, and the maintenance of cognitive flexibility. Posture affects the physical and chemical environment in which these processes occur by influencing circulation, cerebrospinal fluid flow, and overall bodily comfort, all of which contribute to uninterrupted, restorative sleep. Even minor disruptions to alignment can fragment sleep cycles, reducing the duration or depth of slow-wave sleep, which is most closely associated with glymphatic activity and neural repair. Synaptic plasticity depends not only on the biochemical environment of neurons but also on the uninterrupted rhythm of sleep stages. When the body is aligned in a way that supports comfort and minimizes tension, the brain can cycle smoothly through light sleep, deep sleep, and REM phases. Each phase contributes uniquely to neural reorganization. Slow-wave sleep strengthens declarative memory, consolidates learned information, and allows synapses to downscale excess connections, while REM sleep supports procedural memory, emotional regulation, and neural integration. Misalignment or discomfort during sleep can trigger micro-arousals that interrupt these cycles, preventing the brain from fully executing these processes. Over decades, even small inefficiencies in synaptic consolidation can accumulate, subtly affecting learning, memory retention, and cognitive flexibility. The interplay between sleep posture and neural plasticity extends to the metabolic and vascular systems. Proper alignment allows for optimal venous and cerebrospinal fluid flow, ensuring that neurons receive sufficient oxygen and nutrients while removing metabolic waste efficiently. Neurotransmitter production, protein synthesis, and the repair of cellular membranes are all dependent on a stable, well-supported internal environment. Disturbed flow or compression caused by awkward head or neck positioning can reduce the efficiency of these processes, even if the individual is unaware of immediate effects. Over time, such small inefficiencies may influence the rate at which the brain adapts to new experiences or compensates for age-related changes, highlighting the cumulative impact of consistent sleep posture on cognitive resilience. Emotional processing and stress regulation are also affected by the quality of deep sleep, which is influenced by posture. When alignment supports comfort and reduces tension, parasympathetic activity is enhanced, lowering stress hormone levels and allowing the brain to prioritize repair and plasticity. Conversely, chronic discomfort or misalignment may lead to fragmented sleep, activating the sympathetic nervous system and maintaining elevated cortisol levels. Elevated stress hormones not only disrupt sleep architecture but also interfere with synaptic remodeling, neurogenesis, and memory consolidation, linking physical posture directly to the brain's ability to process and store information effectively. Sleep posture also influences the integration of sensory and cognitive experiences. The hippocampus and other memory-related structures rely on uninterrupted periods of neural oscillation to encode and transfer information to long-term storage. A well-aligned posture minimizes micro-movements, tension, and discomfort that could trigger brief arousals or awakenings, allowing these oscillations to proceed smoothly. Over decades, the cumulative effect of consistent alignment is significant. The brain becomes better able to preserve learned information, adapt to new challenges, and maintain cognitive performance. The subtle influence of posture on neural plasticity underscores the interconnectedness of the body and brain. Physical alignment, vascular efficiency, fluid flow, and nervous system balance all interact to create an environment in which synapses can strengthen, neural networks can reorganize, and memory can be consolidated effectively. By attending to these seemingly minor aspects of sleep, individuals can enhance the efficiency of these essential cognitive processes, supporting lifelong learning, emotional stability, and mental clarity. In this way, the position in which we rest becomes a powerful, often overlooked determinant of brain function and resilience, shaping the capacity for memory, adaptation, and mental acuity as we age. The alignment of the body during sleep has profound implications not only for comfort but for the long-term functioning of the brain and body, creating a cascade of effects that extend to the autonomic nervous system, hormonal regulation, and inflammatory processes. When the head, neck, and spine are positioned to support natural curves and neutral alignment, the body experiences less internal friction, allowing physiological systems to operate efficiently without unnecessary strain. Internal friction refers to the subtle resistances and inefficiencies that arise when tissues, fluids, or neural pathways are compressed, misaligned, or otherwise obstructed, forcing the body to expend energy on compensatory adjustments rather than restorative processes. Over decades, these small inefficiencies accumulate, influencing recovery, cognitive resilience, and overall physiological performance. For older adults, minimizing internal friction during sleep becomes increasingly important as the natural elasticity of tissues declines and restorative mechanisms slow. Optimal sleep posture supports the autonomic nervous system by promoting parasympathetic dominance, the rest and repair branch that governs heart rate, digestion, and stress hormone regulation. When alignment is compromised, sympathetic activity, the stress response system, may remain elevated even during sleep, subtly interfering with restorative processes. Elevated sympathetic tone can reduce cerebral perfusion, impede glymphatic clearance, and increase cortisol levels, all of which hinder neural repair, memory consolidation, and metabolic balance. By contrast, proper positioning allows the body to settle into a state of equilibrium, conserving energy and directing resources toward maintenance and adaptation rather than constant compensation. This creates a more efficient internal environment, supporting both the brain and peripheral systems in their nightly restoration. Circulatory efficiency is another domain affected by internal friction during sleep. Neutral alignment ensures unobstructed venous return from the brain, consistent arterial inflow, and smooth lymphatic drainage, all of which are essential for delivering nutrients and removing waste. Even minor obstructions caused by awkward head angles, neck torsion, or spinal curvature can impede the circulation of blood and cerebrospinal fluid, slowing metabolic exchange and potentially contributing to the accumulation of neurotoxic proteins. Over decades, these small disruptions can subtly erode cognitive performance and increase susceptibility to neurodegenerative processes. Conversely, consistent alignment supports the free flow of fluids, allowing the brain and body to maintain a stable chemical environment conducive to repair, plasticity, and cellular longevity. Musculoskeletal integrity is closely tied to internal friction as well. When the spine, shoulders, and hips are supported in a natural position, muscles and ligaments are allowed to relax fully, reducing microtension and strain. Chronic tension during sleep, even if imperceptible, activates mechanoreceptors and stress pathways that increase metabolic demand and provoke subtle inflammatory responses. These internal resistances reduce the efficiency of sleep as a restorative process, potentially leading to daytime fatigue, slower recovery, and impaired cognitive function. By maintaining alignment that minimizes mechanical stress, the body can distribute forces evenly, protect joint structures, and allow the nervous system to operate without interference, reinforcing overall physiological efficiency. Sleep posture also influences the timing and quality of deep sleep and REM cycles, both of which are essential for neural repair, emotional regulation, and memory consolidation. Discomfort or misalignment can fragment these cycles, forcing the brain to expend energy managing wakefulness or micro-arousals rather than focusing on repair and consolidation. Over time, repeated disruption compounds, subtly diminishing the brain's capacity to consolidate memory, process emotion, and maintain neural connectivity. Proper alignment, on the other hand, facilitates uninterrupted progression through sleep stages, maximizing the efficiency of each phase and allowing the body and brain to operate in synchrony. Ultimately, minimizing internal friction during sleep is a cumulative strategy that affects every aspect of physiology. By aligning the body to allow free fluid movement, balanced musculoskeletal tension, and optimal autonomic function, the brain and body can dedicate energy to repair, adaptation, and plasticity rather than compensating for inefficiencies. For individuals over 60, these seemingly small nightly decisions accumulate over decades, creating conditions that preserve cognitive clarity, physical resilience, and systemic balance. Sleep posture, therefore, is not merely a matter of comfort, it is a foundational practice that shapes the efficiency of internal systems, reducing friction and enabling the body to maintain vitality, health, and mental acuity well into later life.